What's up, men? Welcome to the Male Cartel podcast. Let's get started.
Do you think men are important? Like for what?
Men are not meant to be dominant. Men are meant to be submissive.
Life's too short to exercise. I'm just gonna be honest.
It's okay to be fat.
Dispelling toxic masculinity and really redefining what it means to be a man. Men can cry. So it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be weak.
I'm telling you right now, not everybody wants to see you win.
You seem to be more woman than you are man. You don't have any manly qualities.
You give them this message that it's okay to be a man.
It's not okay, it's necessary. How are we going to do without men? You look around the city here, you see all these buildings go up, these men, they're doing impossible things.
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Be a dangerous man. Being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things. You can't be a good man if you're not a dangerous man. You say one disrespectful thing to my wife, I am not only willing, but I'm able to inflict great bodily damage.
I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. I can't explain it, but you better feel me. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Here's your host, Nick and Shane.
We just should start.
I'm good for
talking.
whatever. I mean, we are talking. He should just start.
Just should start recording.
Start whenever.
Yeah. So
he should have started it when you were having the last conversation with me.
I know, man. Hey, I'm
But
blasting them.
there's a time and a day.
Bro, I'm gonna blast the fool out of them on podcast.
The reckoning is coming.
Oh yeah,
We'll have a whole episode.
We're gonna hit it on podcast, the social medias.
I might even break out my blog.
Dude, you need to do it. We'll post. We'll put it everywhere, dude. I'll need the Nick Carnes. I'm calling in a favor. I'm calling for an airstrike, bro.
Oh, you know.
Don't think I'm not. I'm calling in airstrike. Let's go.
So I was
get
talking.
Drew Hall too involved.
I was in Danville, Virginia, and I was telling Brian about the story about that crazy lady up in Virginia that was sending us all kinds of gifts and stuff, and what all big time pastors she got access to through that. And I was trying to find some of the photos because she had asked me to help her build a blog, and she had sent a photo of her and Clayton King. This was after she said I helped lead her to Christ. And then she asked me to help her build a blog, and she sends me that photo. And I immediately told Nikki, I said, something's not right. And I would be friendly and help her with her blog stuff, but then I was constantly behind the scenes telling Nikki, like, something's not adding up. And she turned out to be a total fraud. But she had went on an Alaskan vacation with Clayton King and his wife.
Yep.
And she sent this photo. And I was like, there's no way you know Clayton King and Nick Carnes, some nobody from Augusta, Georgia, led you to Christ. That just didn't happen. And it all turned out to be. But she had access to some big-time pastors.
Yeah. What was her deal anyways? She was a fraud from the standpoint that, what was it? She just was a loony up there.
She was lying about various different things, but she was interacting with us like through our blogs and through Twitter. But then, so for me, after I led her to Christ, she wanted to thank me, and I was already on to her about some stuff.
Then she
and I was like, you don't need to thank me.
She get her like a crib or something.
Yeah, but I was like, you don't need to thank me. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do.
I know.
I'm good.
She took me to lunch on some of her.
Well, she took me to lunch because she sent to the office at Greenbrier because Kendall sent me a text or whatever, or called me and said, hey, you just got a package. And I was like, package? And she said, yeah, it's from such and such. And I was like, oh, no. It was $750 worth of gift cards. And so with Haley, she found our registry because I would not tell her. She's like, What do y'all need? We're good. You've done so much we're good. And so next thing I know, I got an email with, I pulled that, I found that, and it was, the crib was $197, and she paid more than that to have it shipped to us. So she paid $400 and something, but everything was through credit card. And where I created a website to shut her down. I won't say her name. She's disappeared. She's not been that I'm aware of, so I'm not here to destroy her. I took the website down eventually, but at the time, she had promised financial support to a church planter. Well, he didn't have like online giving and stuff, and all she was doing, I imagine, was through credit cards. You can buy gift cards and that type of thing. And she had committed like $4,000 a month to them. Well, she didn't follow through. I think he had to ask her several times for a couple months, and she sent some money to help. And once he had to shut down because they made big decisions based on that financial support, I said, no, now that you have hurt a church, that's it. And so I bought the URL for her name because the blog she had was a different name.
Yeah.
And so her name was available. So I bought that, and it was like, untangling the web of lies. And I put all the information, and she freaked out and started like sending us all these cease and desist letters, and just like she was going to sue us. And at the time I had prepaid legal, so it was like everything was fine. We had several of the pastors had their lawyers look at it. It was like, nothing we're doing is illegal. And what I wanted was, because there were some things you go, okay, who is this person? So you start trying to Google. And back in those days, the internet, I mean, it was early 2000s, so you got a lot of blogs and stuff. So you could still do some decent research, but it wasn't as easy as today. And so I wanted, if she started sending these gifts to people and they started searching her, for that to pop up and them to go, hey, be careful, because you don't want to trust what she says. And so that was 2007, 2000. Haley was born in 2008. So it was between that, probably late 2007 to early 2009.
I came to Greenbrier in 07-ish. Yeah. So end of 07.
Well, we went to a really large church not too far from here when we started New Passion, and I'm telling our team that story. And I always get the question like, why would you, I mean, I'd take the gifts, why did you stop her? And it's like, because it's a integrity issue. You're a pastor, and she's lying, and and then ended up hurting other people. Well, we were at this church, and the pastor of that church tells the story about her and how she was promising money for their like building campaign or something. And they all look at me, and I go, it was a crazy, because this had been months, in separation, maybe even a year. And for me to have just told them on the ride up, and then for this pastor to be telling the story was quite interesting.
I think she just want to be in the cool kids club, bro. You think so?
Yeah, so that's what I told another large pastor in Tennessee. Large pastor. I mean, he pastored a large church, multi-site church.
Is he overweight?
Was that?
Is he overweight?
No. He was tiny.
Okay, all right. Tiny pastor.
Tiny in character too. Ended up being.
Yep.
But I told him when we were having conversations about it, I said, years ago, crazy people had to actually come to your church, sit in the seats, sit in the pews or whatever, and then kind of work their way into the church. Now, through the internet, like, all these churches dropped some of their protocols because, I mean, they were letting her in personally, and she's sending them all kinds of gifts and stuff, buying access, and it's
the whole grooming, man. That sounds like a predator mentality. Hey, I'm gonna do this, and then build your trust, and build your trust, and build your trust. And then the questions you really think through and ask is like, why?
What's the end?
What's the end game? And the end game, there's probably some illness there, mental health illness, and they just want to feel valued. And what would more than likely happen is if she starts to feel so valued, so part of it, and then don't get what they want.
Yes.
they will like strike a match and blow the whole thing up, bro.
Yep. And that's what she tried to do. She tried to create her own blog against us because of the gifts she had sent, trying to say that we were asking or we were getting all this. And I said, I got every email. I have every receipt. So do what you want. But if you want to keep, if you want a war, then let's go, because I can post everything. Every time I said, we don't need anything, I'm not giving you my address, on and on. Like, I never asked for anything. I was trying to raise support to go out to PDYM out in California because I was a part of the PDYM community and I was a state mentor. So I had put out online a general friends and family, if you want to support me to get out there, you can. Well, she bought my plane ticket.
Because you still do that now, though. There's still PDY. People still do.
No, PDYM is over. It's now like DYM.
DYM,
yeah.
Now. But those who are mentors now, they still pay for their stuff, right?
Yeah, you pay to go.
You pay where you go. So there's guys even in our community that
are
part of that, and then they pay.
Yeah.
To go out there. So it's not like they go out there to speak or do.
No, I paid to register. The difference in what the PDYM state mentor was versus what now it's like DYM or whatever.
That's right.
I'm not a student pastor, so I'm not as connected with it. The difference was we were the mentors for people doing purpose-driven youth ministry throughout. So I was a state mentor, one of only 2 in our state.
I remember that back in the day. That was the thing.
So we would actually go and plan the conference, but we still paid. Like, there was a registration fee. Now, whether or not we're paying for the full cost, but I had to pay for my flight. It wasn't like I'm at such an echelon there. I'm not like VIP to the point that like I'm something special. Now, I did get the opportunity, and this goes back to what I started talking about. I was going through some old stuff trying to find those photos, and I found your old blog.
That's right.
ShanePadgett.com, but that URL is gone. It's like ShanePadgett.wordpress.com. So you got like I forgot how much you had written out there. And I found our old CSRA youth workers website, because we used to all we did see you at the poll. We did D Now. And so anyway, that website's out there. It's CSRA.
1,200 kids, 1,500 kids. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like, 20 youth ministries coming together. Yeah. So on that site was the PDYM, the Kingdom Day. So
That's
we
right.
all,
I remember that.
We all talk about Kingdom this, Kingdom that. I sent it to you, and I was like, here's the OG Kingdom Day. But we were together. We
100%.
shared that vision.
100%.
Before I even took it to Purpose Driven, we shared that vision. And I said, why don't we get our student ministries local to actually do a instead of like just getting together doing games and worship? Why don't we like engage the community? I took that to PDYM, and I had the opportunity to speak at the conference and share that vision with other student ministries. And so multiple student ministries across the United States on the same day were serving their community. It was Kingdom Day. They published it in the little magazine for the community. So we helped plan that conference and stuff. But it was cool because I was going back trying to find some old stuff, and somehow, I don't even know how I came across it. I came across your old.
Dude, that's crazy.
If y'all want to hear some read some of Shane's thoughts,
no,
go to Shane Padgett.
Don't go there, bro.
WordPress.com.
Yeah, you're going. A couple things you'll see immediately. Grammar's trash.
I thought that was a pretty interesting photo too on your.
Me at my desk.
Is that where that was?
Yeah, I think it was at my desk. I think I'd use it because back in those, the cool thing about the Apple MacBook was that you can
folded hands.
Yeah, like was that like a prayer deal?
Splinters for the king.
Yep. You know how they dude, this
Fat Camp 11 guys. Go to ShanePadgett.wordpress.com. Scroll down to the second post on the blog. Fat Camp, PHAT Camp 11. Yep. Look at the photo.
Hold up.
And tell me what you see
that's so funny.
in that scene. Now, the cow does have fat. Somebody photoshopped fat into that. But this was a T-shirt
Yep.
and a logo for a student ministry.
All right.
We cannot pass a farm without sending photos.
Photos of a silo, because a silo looks like a male part. So
especially this silo.
That's right. So all right, on that one, somebody designed it, sent it to me.
I thought Shane designed it.
No, I didn't design it. I had somebody do it, and then I sent it to the guys, all parties involved, for this camp, and they all agreed it was great. And we didn't notice it at all until the day at camp when all of us are wearing the shirt, and we said, "You know what? That silo looks like and then that was it, dude. It was Rose City.
Hey, this is one I spoke at.
Yeah, man. See, it was probably your fault, bro. You're the inspiration behind the silo.
Is this the one where I preached on
sex
and 22 kids got saved?
Yep. It was.
That was the craziest night.
I know. That was the whole thing. That was a fun camp, man. That was a fun camp.
That was when I got fired.
Yeah, you got fired from that church.
So what's been up, man? New year.
I'm yawning right now. Man, dude. All right, couple things on my side of the fence. I'm back in my house. Moved back in, and now just try to get squared up with the insurance to pay us back from what we paid for the hotel, and reimbursements for food, etc. And then figure things out with our contractors. So that's the new thing. So we're kind of moved down the road a little bit on some stuff. So just hoping that it finishes well. It didn't start well. It got good in the middle. Towards the end, it got bad. Then it got back good. And now nobody's talking to me. And so people are ghosting me. So, but I'll tell you what, they won't ghost me when they need some money.
Yeah.
So need money. Mr. Paget, you go, Mr. Paget, sir, Mr. Paget. That's all I hear. Sir and Mr. Paget. Sir and Mr. Paget. That's all I hear over and over again.
Is
I
it
really need
disrespectful, sir?
It is. It's never like, it's sir. And I said to our contractor when he first started using that, wanting the second draw, and there was some tension between my wife with my mother-in-law. And my wife shared her thoughts, and so I just knew. And I just sent him like 2 text messages, and he just went back and forth, sir. And it looked like he was kind of flipping out a little bit. So we agreed on one principle, and then we met face to face. And then when we met face to face, this is around, November, maybe, right after Thanksgiving. I said, hey, man, I want to clear the air. 3 things I want to talk about. I asked him what was the number that I wrote down, like $8,000 some change. I said, could I, we need to have a conversation, et cetera. And I said, is this the right amount? He was like, yes, okay. He double checked. He was in a good mood, too. And I said, all right, man, I'm going to clear the air, bro. I'm going to clear it. And because I felt like there was tension between you and my family, and I felt like there was tension between you and I based off of our conversation. And he said, oh, Mr. Paget, no, everything's fine. I said, well, your text message, you've never used the word sir. And then you used the word sir like 4 or 5 times in a row. And you've never, and your language changed. And usually when your language change, you can ask anybody, and you can Google this too. And in the context of what we're talking about, once it changes, we know tone's changed. Everything's changed. So mood has changed. So with that, we'll make sure that we're squared up, bro. And if I need to apologize, you can apologize and stuff. And so we talked about all this, men. But yeah, definitely, sir. I'll get sir and Mr. Paget a lot. Other than that, back at the church, grinding and doing our thing. We got a big conference coming up next weekend, and so looking forward to that. And
your church does?
We do a winter conference for our students.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll have be over 500 or so people on campus, and it's a youth. So there's 3 sessions: Friday night, 2 times Saturday, and then breakouts during the day. Kind of what you think of a conference. And so instead of a traditional D-Now model, 3 years ago we came up with a winter conference model. Because if it's a true D now, a disciple now, you're supposed to be discipling. And so they need to leave not only inspired from hearing the message, etc., and you create an experience where they can connect with God, right? And then I've always said this, even back when I was Greenbrier, and you create that experience for them to connect with each other, biblical community. So like hand in hand. Along with that, it is our job is to give them a set of skills. We've got to give them some skills, some tools to use. We can't just say, "Oh, go reach your friends for the Lord." Man, these kids don't have a clue what that means, So you got to teach them. And then we talk about mental health. There's tracks that they can go to. And then we do a panel for high school, and we do a panel for middle school, just to touch base on some topics.
So like a Friday and Saturday?
Friday and all day Saturday till like 10 o'clock. So then once it's done, it's on our campus in Grovetown, so like I'll be cleaning up. So it's just a long weekend. MLK weekend is a very long weekend for me. But we're looking forward to it.
Good.
Yeah. And time to reach the kids. So what about you?
Came
Came out from Danville, but I actually thought it was Danville, Georgia, man. I thought it was like near Macon.
I didn't even know there was a Danville, Georgia.
Yeah, dude. I drove by there and I was like, man, I guess Nick's don't have to go about 2 hours away. And then I saw you're like Virginia. I was like, whoa.
We're like 4 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, now I feel bad for you. So
I'm going to start telling them we need to meet in Danville, Georgia then.
That's what you need to tell them.
Yeah, I was up there. We had our in-person pastors meeting, and so went up a day ahead of time, and that made it a little bit easier. I usually don't like to be away from family and home, an extra day. Monday's my day off, so usually try to enjoy that. But it was good to kind of get up there a day ahead and not have to rush through traffic and stuff. Got a surprise blessing. We didn't know that Nathan was going to be with us, and so he rode up with a friend that was going to the Duke game and dropped him off in Greensboro. He rode over with one of our other pastors, and so Clay was late getting there, and when he pulled in, we looked like somebody else was in the car with him. We're like, who would that be? Because this is just our pastors. Well, as he was walking through the door, it was Nathan, and so it was just a huge blessing to be able to not only have him there, but to have him come in. So he's doing well. We've talked about him and just asked people to pray, and just the fact that he's alive. He was sharing some of his experience even in that kind of whole scenario. He's actually going to be being interviewed for the first time, sharing his story, and his family's going to be sharing their side of the story in April, like in Danville, and they're going to record it and everything. And we talked about him coming here and sharing his story and stuff. So that's, and now he's getting a lot of requests, but he wasn't supposed to make it.
Yeah.
But just, it's phenomenal, that experience and when God just restored him. And so it was great to see him. He's already had his fingers amputated on the hand.
What does it look like? He has one usable hand?
So his right hand, he said, actually looked worse than his left hand, and it's almost completely restored. There's some marks that, are dark in his fingernails, and he said they're still kind of numb, but his left hand never recovered, and so they had to amputate basically down to the knuckles, and so we didn't see it. He said
finger knuckles, not
finger knuckles like this.
Like yeah.
Remember how we used to
That's right.
do this?
Yep.
Kind of like that. So he had it wrapped up because the stitches are still in, and he said it still looks kind of gross and like a plastic guard. But he still has to be careful for infection because he can't get infection in his blood because he'll revert right back. So he's still having to be very cautious and careful. But he had a flight from Charlotte to back home because he had a doctor's appointment. And so I was able to drive him because I go right through Charlotte. So we got about 2.5 hours in the car together just to talk and hang out. So grateful Nathan is doing better and recovering.
Boom, let's go.
Y'all keep him in prayer as he continues to get better. Other than that, 2025 started off horrible and embarrassing because Georgia lost to Notre Dame. How do you lose to Notre Dame?
They did, bro. They got spanked, bro.
Notre Dame's not like the Notre Dame of old, but still, when you lose to Notre Dame.
It would have been different, I promise you, if you had Brock playing quarterback.
I don't know.
I think so, man.
I think Gunner did good.
I think he did okay. I think Brock would have just been different.
Beck,
I mean, yeah. I think Beck would have been different.
Maybe.
He has so much experience. He always has some lapses, but the offensive game plan wasn't all that great.
No.
And the defense, you saw it when they first came out. At least I thought. I mean, like, you got what? You got your outside linebacker. What's his name? Is it Mikhail or Kale or?
We have Mikhail Williams.
You have a safety.
Yeah.
Safety, and then your outside linebacker. Or rush guy.
I'm drawing a blank.
You got 2 defensive guys that are going to be top 10 picks.
Yeah.
So defense was still the defense. It's just they were flat, bro. I mean, I'm just being honest. They just didn't look hungry, man. They looked like
and
they
the
already
offensive line was not good.
Yep.
And
they were kind of beat up.
Well, and that fumble on the red zone, that turned the game, around big. Jalen Walker.
That's right.
He won the. He's a linebacker, but he won the Buckus Award. So he was really defensive end was Michael Williams.
Oh yeah, Williams. He's a top 10 pick.
Yeah. So yeah, the defense kept us close, but when you give up 2 scores back to back, right before the halftime, and then the kickoff return.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't an offensive win against us. It was really defense and special teams. So you got to give it to them. But
yep, their quarterback, man, he was gutsy. Notre Dame's quarterback.
Yeah, and then we, of course, had the 2 attacks.
Falcons,
horrible.
2 attacks. Falcons lost.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world? Even the Falcons, man, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I do think it's kind of wise with the whole Penix thing. I just unfortunate that I'm a big Kirk Cousins fan.
I am too.
So I just don't think, honestly, the offense was set for Cousins. I just don't think it's his style of offense.
Well,
Cousins is a quick throw guy.
Yeah.
And you don't have anybody. It's not, the game plan is not set for quick throws. It's not. You watched Penix even the other day. He was sitting in the pocket, moving around a little bit, wiggling a little bit, and throwing some darts, and he played a great game. It's like, Kirk Cousins is not like that.
Yeah.
He's not.
I think if you look at Rodgers, they both came off Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them struggled this year. Rodgers a little bit older, but that's a hard injury to come back from as a young guy, much less an older guy. And I don't know if anyone's come off an Achilles tear that was just phenomenal the next year.
Yeah,
I think it takes a couple of years. So you had that going against him, and then the defense this year,
nothing. Yeah,
completely. They gave up 50 more points. Couldn't get a rush on the passer.
Yep.
Much throughout most of the year. I mean, it was just I don't think that's a defensive coordinator, the right defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just very disappointing.
And the attacks, man. What you think about that?
So
I saw a bunch of your posts on it, Twitters and all that.
Yeah,
so.
I would just suggest people go back and watch the Sean Ryan episodes. You can, I think it's like 45 minutes or so. I think there's some commercials in there, so it's about 45 minutes worth of content. They have a legitimate email sent from the guy, and it's quite interesting. I mean, the guy talks about a government cover-up in 2019 from civilians that were killed in Afghanistan, and how he was a part of that cover-up. They said this guy is like a real-life Rambo. He's a Green Beret. He's like super high up. Had he really wanted to cause damage, he has the skills to do that. They are questioning whether or not he intentionally killed himself using the Cybertruck to get attention but not kill people. And he talks about these gravity basically defying drones that both the U.S. have and China have, which would explain some of the, alien questions and UFO questions. But he said the ones that China has, basically they're similar to ours, but he said they're unlimited payload, and they could park one over the White House, and it's checkmate. And so it's like some interesting stuff. And as soon as they went live with that, the narrative through the media started changing, trying to make it like it was a domestic upset with his, baby mama kind of deal, to try to distract from what Sean Ryan has. And Sean Ryan said the FBI said that is a legitimate email from that guy.
Huh.
So you have to go, okay,
that's crazy.
There's some stuff. So I'm not very versed in it, but the Sean Ryan episodes on that, go watch it. And he also posts on Twitter, he posts the email that this other guy got that he was interviewing. So you can read through it and see. So it's some crazy stuff, especially if there's drones that, are super fast and defy gravity.
Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Changes warfare.
That changes everything. That changes the game.
Yeah.
You I wished I had I was watching a video, and it was on I guess it was the Instagrams. I guess it was on, or maybe it was a TikTok, and then it was on Twitter, and it was teaching people how to what's it called when you trick somebody's mind? Like you tell somebody like you're a cow, and then they believe it, and then
hypnosis.
Hypnosis, yeah. And you there are people that do that now, for losing weight and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I thought,
you mean the Ozempic cheaters?
Yeah, Ozempic cheat. Yeah, them Joe cheaters getting the edge. So I'm gonna trick Carell right now.
Oh,
so Carell, can you look at me, producer Carell? All right.
His goatee. Hold on. His goatee matches his
outfit, bro. He's grayed out. All right, producer Carell, I'm gonna trick you right now. Okay, what I'm about to say, you're no longer gonna be this. Okay, I'm gonna try it on you, because Nick. I don't think Nick's. It has to be somebody with a strong mind. Somebody with a weak mind, I can't do it. So, so here it is, right? I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say,
and when you snap,
and when I snap my finger, you're gonna be totally different. Ready? Here it goes.
You need some
Here goes. Here goes. Carell, you are no longer a homosexual.
Are you?
What you think about it? Are you homosexual now? Told you it worked. It worked.
Whoa.
It worked.
It worked.
Told you. Yeah, man. See?
Amazing. Amazing. Amazing.
All right, so those who are not able to see Carell, I watched this video. It was so funny. He totally forgot. I watched this guy, and he had his friend. I don't know if I sent it to you.
I've seen it.
You seen it? You see it? When he tells his friend, he goes, "Hey, da-da-da," and he goes, "You're no longer a homosexual." And the guy goes, "I've never been homosexual."
You won't remember you're a homosexual.
You will not be. Yeah. And the guy goes, "I'm not homosexual." And he's like, "But I'm not homosexual." It was so funny. I was like, I was gonna get Nick, but you're so quiet and you're just off. I was like, I'm gonna mess with Carell real
We
quick.
got to get you on the road. That's moneymaker right there.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Did you do New Year goal resolutions?
Bro, all right. I didn't do anything with the working out.
Oh yeah, because last year you had the run-in and all that.
Yeah, so I didn't complete my goals last year. I posted them because I said publicly, this is what I'm going to do, and I said on the air, and then I didn't get them, and I just didn't get them, and I tried hard, but hurricane and some other stuff, but I did get, I think it was over 850 miles logged, and then I got,
you did more because you set a goal, so you had something to aim for.
That's right.
Had you not set that goal,
I don't think that I would have.
You probably wouldn't have done an extra 850 miles.
Bro, the last several days leading up to the first, I was grinding. I mean, literally probably 6 miles one day, 4 miles, probably 10 miles in 2 days, maybe. Something like that. It was crazy. But I still got 32,000 plus push-ups on top. I hurt my shoulder. I started out the gate strong. And then by the third week in January, I had to go get needling 3 times in a month. I had to get on within a 6-week period anti-inflammatory steroid because I had so much inflammation, and so it messed.
Anti-inflammatory
right,
steroid.
Right. So it just injured, and by the time I got a good rhythm, I was doing pretty good. When I got a good rhythm, I felt, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna complete it. I may surpassed it like a little bit, but then hurricane happened, and then our house was in disarray, and you start, basically you missed a few weeks.
Yeah.
Now I still was working out. I was chopping down trees and everything else.
Yeah.
So if you look at losing weight, I'm still the same weight. 4 months in a hotel. 4 months. We eat out every day, which might like fast food, and I have not gained 1 pound. Literally weighed myself like just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Have not gained. I'm probably underweight right now, a couple pounds because I'm fasting, but like before then, like haven't lost any weight. It hasn't gained any weight. Stayed the same, and so just making choices here and there. I came off the carnivore and in the last 4 months hadn't done. So it's not like I'm still dieting right or anything. I mean, just and so my workout. So I think I ends up being like 5.5 weeks behind schedule is what it ended up being.
What about you, Producer Crow? Any 2025 resolutions? Goals? So
Producer Carell says he does revolutions.
Revolutions.
Not resolutions.
Yeah. So no goals to.
He said he is a goal.
Goals.
He is a goal.
He is the goal. He's like, he wants to be on a poster so all the young people will look up to him and go, I want to be like Producer Carell when I get older. I mean, you should. Paul said, follow me as I follow Jesus.
Hey, Producer Carell sent me a inbox on the Instagram, and it was a AI generated.
Oh, the woman?
Fitness woman.
I didn't know that's what he meant when he said fit.
I was like, I knew exactly he was saying, this is not a fit woman I want. And I saw her, she's famous, like, and I can't think of her name, but I mean, she's like ripped, obviously she takes like testosterone, she takes something.
Is that really her? It looked AI generated.
It was AI, but the real her
is fit, and
that's just a marketing thing. But the real person of that,
those look like man arm or hands and arm.
That's not that. That's just AI. But like she's really like a fitness, but she's like, you can tell, man. Like she takes testosterone. Like she's not, what do they call? What's the natural? She's not. She's not natural.
Yeah,
she's not natural. And then that obviously was not natural.
Yeah, and there's some men look like they take estrogen.
100%.
Yeah, just their diet, but
100%. It's pretty unique. That I just think it's unique, and it maybe not unique. Maybe that's a bad word, but I just think it's different, unique. How a man can choose to want to look feminine. I just think it's like my brain doesn't wrap around that. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be more manly than unmanly.
Yeah.
Right. I'm saying like I crave that. I look at I go by Lowe's. I'll take the long way around just so I can look at tools. I don't need an air compressor. Well, I would like to have one, but I don't need one. I go by and look at stuff and I go, man, that's a cool looking wrench right there, bro. And
you ever go?
I look at stuff like that and go, man, that's awesome right there.
I'll go rub my hand down a sheet of plywood just to get some splinters just so I can feel more manly.
Splinters for the kid.
Oh man, splinters for the kid. I just want them all in my hand just so I can go home and be like, man, I'm more man. Look at these hands.
Well, all right. So my wife, it's funny we say this because my wife, I have
look at these manly hands.
All right. So wintertime, my sides of my mouth, places start to crack. My skin get dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what happens. My forehead, I'll get cracks in my forehead. But my hands.
Cracks in your forehead?
Yeah, dude. Because I wear hats all the time and everything gets super dry. My hands get really dry. So I'll get cracks. Like right now, this has been 3 weeks. These cracks in my hand. Now there's calluses. If you go to shake my hand, immediately you're going to feel, man, he got
I'm going to say man.
Manly. So my wife, you know what she
man.
said? You know what she said? She said, look at your hands. It looks she said, looks so bad. I was like, it looks like a man, bro. Like a cowboy. And she looked at it, and she says, Daisy, come here, my daughter. They come look at my hand, and they're like, oh, my goodness, it's been bleeding, you know? I'm like, blood's smearing. I'm like, I don't care. I didn't even notice it. And anyway, she looked at it. She goes, I've got to order this lotion for you. I said, babe, you can order that lotion. I ain't wearing it. She goes, you ain't going to wear it? I said, listen, I put lotion on my legs and my elbows because my elbows get so dry. Like, I'll do that because it'll itchy. But I ain't wearing lotion on my hands, man. It's just like, it's against my code.
Yeah.
It's against the code.
I know what you're talking
She went on and on and on and on about it. And I said, well, go ahead and do it. You're wasting my money. Just no, I made sure I let her know that it was my money.
That is your portion. Yeah,
and so I ain't gonna, and I'm gonna give it away to somebody because I'm not wearing it.
Yeah.
Dude. So she said, well, you just gonna have cracked hands. And I said,
yeah.
I've been living with cracked hands my whole life. You got like I just woke up going, you know what?
Yeah.
I got cracked hands.
Yep. I don't like the feel of lotion. It feels so.
You feel like a man. You know what I do? So when I
don't even lotion my elbows or my.
Oh, I have to. I get ashy.
Can white people get ashy?
Yes.
Is it like
it's
extra ashy? Like
I'm
ash?
probably 5% African American. I got a drop in me somewhere. I know it.
I'm definitely albino.
And so I got a drop somewhere. You know what they say
I'm
about
black
drops?
albino, but I don't get ashy.
I'll ask Carell. Carell, do you think I got some drops in me? Say he says I got more than a drop.
Got more than a drop. What lotion do you use, Producer Carell? Because I can smell it in your office. It's like a shea butter.
I use cocoa butter.
Cocoa butter.
I use cocoa
shea butter.
My wife
cocoa
hates
butter.
the smell of it. I think it smells.
I've seen
delicious.
you with some because we've traveled together. You is it Gold Bond for men? Gold Bond for men. See,
I love that Gold Bond for men. They make Gold Bond with like cocoa butter in that thing. It's so good.
I think that's what he uses because I can smell the butter in the cocoa. I can smell the cocoa. You know what? If you married like a kind of like a pasty white woman, yellowish, then y'all could be cocoa butter.
Yes, yellowish.
Y'all could be.
If you marry somebody,
who do they say is yellow?
She got liver failure.
Man,
he's marrying her. Listen, he's marrying her for the money.
Yes,
I promise you.
She
walking around with yellow
yeah,
eyes. She's like a crayon.
I mean, I don't drink anymore. They could be cocoa and butter. They could be a whole show, man. That would be amazing. We could take them to the fair. We could get people to pay to see
posters.
Oh man, T-shirts.
So when I use cocoa butter, I use my lotion. I get done doing it, and then I wash my hands.
Yeah.
And then I dry my hands. And she's like, "That's why your hands are always cracking because you wash your hands and then it dries out."
Man, I hope you wash your hands.
I said, "Well, babe, literally, honestly, my hands were so rough and tough feeling. I didn't even want to touch my body during the hurricane because I was chopping wood. But you know what, though? I felt like a man.
How?
I felt like a man. I felt like, you might just say something, I know. But I felt like a man, bro. I felt like, listen, my hands were so jacked up. What did I say that was wrong? You're dying.
I was just going to ask how often you touch your body.
Touch my body? Well, I got to put my clothes on.
Touch my body.
But you ever like, so like, for me, when I have, like, here's the thing. When I run a fever, my whole body is warm. And I don't want my legs, it's so weird. I'm probably weird. I don't want my legs to touch me, my other leg, like this when I sleep. Because it's so warm.
Oh, yeah.
So I put a pillow between my legs.
I have to do that because the bones there.
I know, right? You don't want your bones touching, bro. You don't want the bone to touch. No. I get it. So, like, piggybacking off of that Sunday message. All right, yeah. So, like, but my hand, I felt like a different type of man, bro. I felt like I was on wrestling one of those grizzly bears that we always, you said that video, and I was like, there ain't no way, bro. There's no way.
That grizzly's paw was as big as that person's head.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to get in the business just like Jacob Dorn. You know, he's got the great white buffalo, Frost by the Fire.
Yeah.
Beard oil and cologne.
Oh, yeah.
He has.
That's good.
Smells good. I've got my packet here. Still smells good. I'm going to get into making homemade cocoa butter. I'm going to get some of the Hershey's cocoa powder. I'm going to get a stick of butter. I'm going to mix it.
I don't know if that's going to work, bro.
It will. The butter is the lotion.
You're going to cook yourself. You making a cookie. You making lotion.
You smell very chocolatey.
You would. You get
is
my
that not how they make
bro,
cocoa
you get
butter?
my attention. You smell it like a cookie. I'd be like, whoa, Nick smelling too good.
You might not be able to use it in the summer. You might become a brownie.
You know what? That would be a great cologne.
That's
cookie cologne.
Chocolate chip cookie.
You ever smell chocolate chips just cooked in the out of the oven? Imagine if your girl walked by smelling like a chocolate chip out of the oven. Don't you know you'll perk up? I know I would. I'm go.
We need to make some like male cologne though for it.
What
so
if
some of these single folks like producer Carell can land him a?
Nikki walks by, and she smells like your mama's sweet potato pie. It's over with, bro.
Sweet potato
right?
Casserole?
Huh?
The sweet potato casserole?
Yeah.
I mean,
casserole. But all she wrote, bro.
Yeah, she doesn't have to smell like that.
I know. There you go. There you go. But I just think, man, I in the gym, it's crazy because I'll work out, in the mornings, and you get you see all kinds of people. You rarely see like young people, right? And today I saw like two. They're probably 18-year-olds, like college.
You mean at
girls.
the gym?
At the gym,
yeah.
Probably two girls that were like college girls, and every once in a while you'll get somebody who wears something a little risque, but it's never. Never. But when the older people come by, them joggers, they wear like a full suit. Like they'll wear their jacket. They'll wear their jacket they came in with, won't even put on a rack. They'll go straight to elliptical machine.
That thin blood.
And you're like, them joggers wearing a jacket. Well, today I saw a guy. He's the same old dude. He's probably 107. But today, he was wearing his Christmas, New Year's resolution suit. And it looked like a gray trash bag to burn off fat.
Yep.
And I was like, that dude's going to die. He's going to be dehydrated.
That solar suit or whatever.
Dude, it was the craziest thing. I was like, oh, my goodness. But every once in a while, and you notice because in the gym, it just has a distinct smell to it. You never really get super close to somebody unless, well, I guess you do. But if I smell somebody, it's going to be a dude who smells as musky.
Yeah.
And smells homeless.
Yeah.
That's what he smells, homeless. Yep. I'm kid you not. Smells homeless. But every once in a while, you'll get some woman, and she's probably the person I'm thinking of right now that comes in once in a while and smells good. She's probably 60. And you know what she's wearing?
White diamonds.
No, she's wearing that lotion, Bath and Body Works.
Cucumber
smelling
melon.
like a cucumber, bro. Coming in, you're like, one day she smells like a rose, one day she smells like a cucumber. And it smells good, And I'm like, that's why I always thought, I was like, imagine if somebody walks into a gym smelling like food, like good food. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
It'd be
People have
different
eaten in the gym, like at our, because it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
There'll be food containers in like some of the trash cans.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so sometimes it'll still smell like that. It's not pleasant when you're working out. No.
Man, I'm just thinking.
But talking about the musk.
Oh man, I can't handle
one time, and then that person's marked forever. When you
it's
see
a stinky guy.
Well, you can smell it just by seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like one guy was so bad, he got on a treadmill beside me, and it's like now when I see him, it's like the odor comes. Like I can be 100 feet from him, but just by seeing him, it's like it was so bad. You just are like, it's stuck in your mind.
I got a guy who comes in every day, same time, him and his girlfriend, and he comes in. I go to the bathroom, use the bathroom. After about 25, 30 minutes in my workout, and guess what? Like clockwork, he's going to come in. And he loves, I think I might have mentioned to you before, he loves to drink his protein shakes in the toilet, like on the toilet. He sits on the toilet, takes a poop, and you'll hear, quop, 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 and now he's shaking his drink, and he's drinking it, and he's on the phone. He's on the phone, drinking a protein shake and taking a poop all at the same time. And then, I kid you not, it's like, usually it's like Thursdays, as I've heard it. I could be wrong. It could be Friday mornings. But every few weeks, I'll hear a little bit of a racket and him undo something. You can tell like he's doing something that's not. And I figured out what it was. Because then I start picturing in my head, I wonder what he's doing right next door to me in the stall. He's taking a steroid. The little injection. It's like a whatever it is.
I thought maybe
because he does. All you hear is his pants drop. You can see it on the floor, and you could hear it drop. And there's he undoes a bunch of stuff, wrappers. He's fumbling around, and then he goes, and then that's kind of basically it. And then he puts. You can hear him put something, whatever he took out, he puts it back together again. And then he sits on the toilet for a minute, and then he gets off. It's the same exact routine.
Huh.
And I said, oh, I bet you he's shooting himself. Because I got some friends of mine that take steroids. And so they do that because they have low testosterone. They have low testosterone. So, they take it, and so they do it, and then they lower the dose, and they do it every week or every other week or something like that. But this gentleman is like that.
Producer, are you still... you still got your personal trainer? Are you shooting up with him? Oh, you didn't? Is that not something he trained you on? He was, so you're not meeting with him anymore? I know you said there was limited. Oh.
So did your personal trainer ever put his hand on you in an appropriate way? Ever he was working out and he was like, oh, Corell, right here, this is what you're doing. Right here. Make you feel weird? No.
Did he ever massage you? Did he ever give you a massage?
Oh, let me work that muscle out.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
YouTube. I don't know what a trainer's like. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. Like a coach?
Hey, put that weight up, boy.
So the coach with the swim team who did all that stuff with the female swimmers?
Touch them inappropriately?
Yeah. There was a big scandal.
Hey, I was getting a massage. My wife would did a massage for my birthday, a gift certificate. And I went to cash it in after about 6 months. This has been.
Did you ask him to massage you like a coach?
10 years ago? 10 years ago, maybe? 11 years ago? And remember what? The pool? Or remember Matt? All that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went to get a massage. Came in. They said, I just dropped it off and said, hey, I want to get this, want to set an appointment. And they was like, okay. I said, I just want a female. Never had a male. Rather have a female. They said, okay, no problem. Came back from my appointment. They said, oh, unfortunately, this is, and the coupon was about to expire too. I mean, it was literally the days. I waited till the last minute to use it. And said, oh, somebody just called out. So, but I'll be the one doing the massage today. But I've been doing it. Here's all my stuff. And I said, okay, well, really, it's my back and my traps is more than anything. So,
trap beats.
And so he's like, okay, cool. So old boy started doing it. It didn't make me feel weird. It's just normal. It's what it felt like. And then I felt something weird.
Uh-oh.
And literally, I was kind of turned off. Not that I was turned on, but I was turned off. I was turned off when I came in, and old boy he was playing some weird type of music, wearing a Hawaiian shirt and no shoes on. So I was like, oh, this whole guy's kind of up in the air type of thing. And I was like, okay. So anyway, but he was a nice guy. But I felt something weird on my back. Literally. This has been about 15 minutes into the massage. And then they put this hot oil, boom, boom, and they slap it on your back. And I was like, that feels pretty good. But then I felt something weird again. What in the world is happening? Your head is in this you can't see anything around you. It's like your head's in a padded toilet seat. And you're just like, what is going on right here? So I don't know what's happening. This is God's truth. I'm like, I don't know what's going on at all. What? And then he goes from my back to my lower back. I have no problem with that. No problem at all. I'm wearing a towel. I ain't got nothing on, bro. Listen. And he slid something to where it felt like it was touching my booty cheek. So I immediately had to turn around. And he had on my back, working my back with his foot. Old boy had his foot up. And he had his heel. He was digging his heel in my back.
Are you
kidding not, man? his little piggies was all like touching my back. His feet, bro. He was like Mr. Miyagi with his feet. And I said, I think I'm good, bro. And then I got up, and dude, I didn't even look. I didn't look anywhere, bro. I just said, I'm good, bro. And I went straight to the dressing room right there, changed out, and he came out, and I said, hey, man, I'm so sorry. I said, just not feeling like I just need the rest of the massage. And then I just left, dude. I didn't even like sign no document. I didn't do anything. I just threw the towel down and just was really quick and get out of Dodge. It was like so awkward. I felt so heated. You know, if you're embarrassed or something, you just like feel so warm. I didn't know what to do. I felt like,
did the guy have arms? Maybe that's the only way.
No, he had arms, dude. He had arms. So I'm like probably 30, in my lower 30s, and this guy was probably late 50s.
You were assaulted,
and he was
with a heel.
super cool. He was like nice guy. He was like somebody that would go to like Woodstock, like a hippie. Is what he reminded you of. And then he had his 2 girl massage therapists. And you see pictures of, they're like, it's a legit place. It's closed down now. It was a legit place.
It's completely legit.
It was a legit place. But one of the girls, you stereotype, and so you're like, I don't want this female touching me because she just looks like she could be indecent, and then I have to be like Joseph, and flee the scene. I'm gonna have to pull a Joseph, and the other one just looked like a mom, and so I was like, I want the mom hands, gonna be awesome, and so I didn't get mom hands, I got dad foot, bro. That's what I got. I got dad foot.
That's the weirdest.
Dude,
I thought it was weird.
He had his foot, so he must have done it at Piggy's, and then slid his heel down to where it touched my booty. As soon as it went below, it moved my towel. That was all she wrote, bro. I'm about to get up. I have no problem killing him right in that moment. But when I turned around, I just pulled my head off the thing and turned around and got a look, and it was his foot. And I was like, you know what I did? I just said, hey, excuse me. And I just got up. And then I went straight to the bathroom and changed my clothes, came back, dropped the towel off right where by the little seat thing. He was, at that point, he was out in the office area. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I feel pretty good. I think we're done. So, and I just kept on walking. I was like,
you thought those were his fingers? It was his toes?
It was his toes, bro. I thought it was his fingers.
I thought it was weird. We went when we were in Mexico a couple years ago. We went to get a massage, and because it was like super cheap. Someone was like, you can get like an hour and a half for like $40.
Yeah.
And so we had to go find this place, and it's not like an American place. Yeah. And it was just 2 ladies. One was like a mom, and so that's who I got. And so next thing I know, I hear this, rustling behind me, and your face is down in that pillow, thinking, what is going on? And so next thing I know, I feel this person climbing up on the massage bed, and the woman takes her knees and presses them into the back of my knee, and she is on top of me, not like laying on top of me, but her knees on top of me, doing whatever she was. I mean, she wasn't doing anything inappropriate, but she was like, she climbed on top of me. She was fully invested. I don't know if because she was shorter, but it's like my shoulders are up here. You can just walk up here.
You got a little person. She done climbed up you like a Christmas tree.
It was the weird. I was like, and I asked Nikki, I was like, did your woman climb on top of you? And she's like, no, what happened? What was going on over there? Because we're right side by side. But the lady's literally like, her knees are on my legs, and she is like hovering over me to massage me. It wasn't the whole time.
Yeah.
But it was a certain, it was the weird, I thought that was the weirdest thing until your story.
Dude. But you're like,
I mean, yeah.
I had we were at the School of Massage in Augusta, and they always were like a fantastic job, but I had a female, I had a gift certificate, and it was like 6 sessions. And I can't remember her name exactly offhand. Not that I would say it on the air, but she was amazing. And obviously they graduate from the school and stuff, but I think I had her 4 times in a row. And I think I had like a mom, a young person, and I was like, they did a terrible job, absolutely terrible. I was like, I don't even know if I want. So I had some like tense shoulders, so I went back and I got the same girl, and she was amazing. But if you saw her, she's tatted up from her neck all the way down to her tattoos on her fingers, earrings everywhere. Super cool, man. Like one of the coolest people. I mean, like literally, you can just hang out and have a conversation with. We just talked the whole time, man. And she would, and I would say, hey, this is my shoulders problem, and she would work that thing out, man. She would spend like 30 minutes just on where my traps are at, on my shoulder blades, and getting every single one of those.
Yeah, because you get those knots in there.
She'd get all those knots out, dude, and go like, so you don't want your legs? And I was like, no. And then I came in one time and my hamstring was sore, and I was like, hey,
do you want my legs, my feet?
Do you? Oh no, I don't need.
I've never even thought to even have to ask. Do you use your hands or do you use your feet?
Yeah, dude, well, you know, most people, they don't use their hands. They use their palms, and they use their elbows,
yeah,
and forearms.
Yeah. Nikki says she's never had anybody use their elbow.
She's probably so little though.
That's probably why.
But like big people, like not married.
Because I was going for Christmas for her, I was going to buy a massage table off of Amazon and a book on how to do massages, so that I could give her massages. And she's like, no, we won't ever use it. I was like, I'll use it. Trust me.
That's right.
I will use it.
Dude, yeah, I would. My wife, you know, she's so small, man. She'll do my shoulders, and she's like done, man. I don't know. She ain't. Anyways.
You've given us all something to be aware of.
That's right. So if you're a man, be careful when another man massages you, bro. That's all I got to say. All right, I don't know how many minutes we're in, dude, but we've just been having.
I think we're an hour in already.
We're an hour in already. Gosh. Sorry, listeners. We've just been having a good time.
Yeah, we did 2 bonus episodes, and then the last one, if you haven't watched it, was our Q&A, basically Family Focus Sunday at Hope Church. So if you've not watched that, there's some good stuff for family and marriage and stuff.
Yeah.
But so we hadn't talked in a while. So
do you have any challenges or anything for 2025 for men? Any things you think maybe for your church or for just kind of your heart for men this year? I know for us with Male Cartel, I know there's things that you and I want to do a little bit different this year for the podcast, and so we hope to implement a lot of stuff, and so we're excited about that. But as far as men, any desires that you would love to see or challenges?
Well, so just in general, I mean, on Sunday, I was talking to our people about the responsibility that we have to grow spiritually. And, you know, the scripture in Ephesians 4 talks about the gifts that have been given for evangelists, teachers, preachers. Well, there's an unspoken responsibility there, and that is, well, it actually says so that we will grow in maturity. And so my challenge to everyone, but especially to men, is that there's no excuses in 2025 at Hope Church. There's no excuses. We have been given a responsibility. So we're either willing and obedient to do what Scripture says, or we're unwilling to obey and we're disobedient. And so in 2025, there's no excuses. And for those who choose comfort, they're going to be very uncomfortable at Hope Church in 2025 in their comfort. Yeah. Because I, as a leader and as a pastor, am called to, am responsible to call them to a higher standard of glorifying God, worshiping Him with our whole lives.
Yeah.
So, from a church standpoint, we've added a bunch of stuff to invest in our men, to invest in marriages, and to invest in our young people. So we're going to be doing a thing called Family Summit, where we may even bring people in from outside, but it's like, here's the challenges that teenagers and young people are facing, to kind of make parents aware of that and to equip them. We're going to be doing what we call date night and date weekend, which is just pouring into marriages. And then other than that, we're going to be doing some stuff with men. We've got the Forged men's event coming in May. You're going to be playing a role in that with Male Cartel, and we're going to do some stuff there for men. So, yeah, we're going to do what we can to pour into and invest in men. And I don't know if you wanted to just give right off the top, did you have any of the things that we had talked about like to make this a great year, like to challenge men? Did you have any of those things like
just
to share?
Yeah, I actually
we may not dive too deep, but just to give maybe the heading of
for this year.
Yeah,
So,
just
I ran across, so I was started thinking through, as you're saying what you're saying, I do believe you've heard the terminology like healthy things grow.
Yeah.
And so healthy things grow. So as men need to figure out you're healthy. Are you healthy? Answer that question. Are you healthy? Are you healthy for mentally? Like how are you doing? A lot of that mental health there for you, just to be honest as a man, is just to know that men are, you're not made to be alone. So you find yourself riding solo, you're in a bad spot regardless. So your mental health will be jacked up if you do that. And the second thing, what you just said, what Nick just said is, you have a responsibility. And so when a man is unhealthy, it's because he's probably more than likely, a thing is that he is being neglecting his responsibility. There's something that you're unlocked when you are doing what God has called you to do. Something you're unlocked. And so I think that plays a huge part. Along with the healthy piece is healthy physically. You can be the best spiritually and emotionally, but man, I promise you, once you start failing physically, it affects everything. It's all tied in together. And so I think that we need to really think about our health. We need to think about what we eat. If we stay moving, I'm not saying you got to be perfect in that. I'm not saying you got to I got to count my macros and micros. No, I'm just saying just try hard to be healthy person.
Yeah.
Run up a flight of stairs and, are you capable, to handle your business? And so health, healthy things grow. And so you want to grow, man, you got to stay healthy. But I was really thinking about this year and for men, and I ran across I guess it was a post and just started thinking through the difference between somebody who's hungry. We say this in football all the time. In basketball, we said, are you hungry? I got to eat, let them eat, And so there's a difference between somebody that's hungry and then somebody or hungry and then somebody who's just eating. There's a complete difference. And I just wrote down, it's like, the question is, are you hungry or do you just want something to eat?
Yeah.
And so if you just want something to eat, that means that's like bored eating food. You eat a little something, you're bored, you just need a snack. And if you just want something to eat, you just turn down opportunities for food. I'm just not interested in that. I just not feeling those chicken tenders. But in life as well, you do the same thing. And so, but are you hungry? If you're hungry, you and me, when we were kids, we'd eat a mayonnaise sandwich when you're hungry. You don't care what's in front of you, you eat it because you're hungry. You're willing to do whatever you need to do. You'll eat a mayonnaise sandwich and turn around and drink the half of a cup of orange juice that's left because you're thirsty too.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you're willing to do. And that's what I would love to challenge men for this year is that are you hungry or you just want something to eat? And I really am praying that men are hungry to be men.
Yeah.
And there is a difference between a man and a boy, And I think
it's not settling for the status quo. You're motivated for whatever that extra is to grow, to stretch yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, all right, it is what it is, and being mundane and apathetic. It's like if you're hungry to grow and to become and to do things different, or it's just like, oh, well, it's Monday. This is what I do on Monday.
Well, think about
it's Tuesday.
Think about it. Those who are married, are you just doing just enough to get by?
Right. That's that. Yeah, I think that says it well. You're just getting by.
Just doing stuff to get by. And we talk about it all the time, getting 1% better. Are you doing just enough to get? Nah, man. I honestly think that I like to believe the best in people.
Yeah.
And I like to think that men really want to be better.
Yeah.
Really, they just sometimes don't know how to be better.
Yeah.
And then there are a section of men too that don't apply to because they are somehow maybe in a rut. Maybe they're just, I remember somebody saying a rut is just the grave with the walls kicked out. That's what a rut is. A rut is just a grave that the walls have been kicked out. And so, but there are some people that are just in that season of life, and then there's probably a few people, a certain percentage that just don't care. And so, but if that's you, you're probably not listening to us, to be honest. You're listening to us it's because you genuinely want to be a better man.
Yeah.
And so so since that's you, like, get on the ball. And I know for me, that's what I'm thinking of this year. I'm trying to look at every little angle of my life and going, how do I be a better husband? How to be a better dad? How to be more intentional with people who I'm leading? And I need to be congruent, in all things,
Well, you've learned this. We've both learned this as pastors. You can motivate people and inspire them for a short amount of time. I have a hard time at this stage getting too excited when people tell me the commitment they're making or what they're going to do.
Yep.
Because if you want something, you're going to do it. Yep. And so whether that be fitness, whether that be spiritual growth, whatever, if you really want it, then you're going to do it. And that's where that self-motivation comes in. Sure, or discipline, really. But, I mean, yes, it's important to have people sometimes hold you accountable and stuff. I don't need anyone. I posted something the other day for about a week and a half. I let things kind of slip. I could have made different decisions. I didn't. It's on me. But I didn't need anybody to call me up and go, "Hey, Nick, you going to the gym? Are you sticking with your routine?" Like, I knew,
100%.
because I want what I want.
Yep.
So for me to go a week and a half, I'm miserable. Even though I'm consciously going, I went to bed at 11:30. I'm not going to get up at 3 a.m. I could, but I've chosen not to because it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I know what I want, so there's a limit to where I'm going to let that slide.
Yeah.
We tell people all the time, don't be perfect, but be consistent.
Yeah.
And so I'm miserable, and in my mind I'm thinking like I'm kind of falling backwards. You don't feel as good, so you start feeling these things, and like that's enough motivation for me. I don't need, and you could apply that to any area of your life, but just recently it happened to be like going to the gym, working out, and being consistent in that. But I want it.
Yeah.
And so I think if you want something enough, then you truly, and this is what happens, and what I've seen is like, especially like in relationships, and I've related this to like a life raft and an island. People's marriages start falling apart, they start having issues relationally, and then they come wanting help, whether it be to the church or to a counselor or to whatever. And so they're motivated by the reality of losing someone and losing something. Well, now I want it, because I don't want to lose this. I want control or whatever. So now I'm going to do what I need to do in order to get what I want, in order to eat.
Yep.
There's a little bit of hunger, but I feel that hunger and I'm good now.
Yep.
And so I don't remain hungry because I got back what I need.
Yep.
And so I tell people, and I've told our church often, I've written about this, why settle for a life raft when you can have the island?
Yep.
Why run to Jesus when the storm is there and it's like, save me, save my marriage, save my whatever. And then the storm passes and it's like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to get back out here and swim myself. Whereas doing things the right way, following Jesus, you have an island to build your life on. And that's what I see, whether it be relational, health, whatever. We want it short term till our hunger is met, and then we're good again.
Yep.
It's not an ongoing remaining motivated and hunger. So, but I would say with that also to take risks. A lot of people are apathetic. They're stuck in their rut.
Oh yeah.
And they're not willing to do anything different, do anything new. I'd like to encourage men. Some men may be stuck in a mundane job that they're like, well, it pays the bills. I hate it. They're constantly negative about it. They don't love it. They don't like it. I would say make this a year that you start exploring and taking steps to do what you would love to do, what you're passionate about. It may not be, you want to be wise in that. You don't want to just jump ship without being able to support your family. I've seen people do that. But it could be you start doing something on the side, see if it's something you can generate money with, if it's a passion. Because some things are a hobby, some things are a career.
Yeah.
And it could be just, it's a hobby for you.
100%.
But start taking steps to go, can I generate income with this so that maybe in another year I can leave this job I really don't love and I can take a risk and to jump into something that I do love and give my life to that and still support my family, still do what we need to do. Because I think too many men have just settled.
Yep. Dude, that's so much wisdom what you just said, because I know exactly. I can tell you 5 people that I know did the same exact thing. They worked a job they didn't care for. It paid them the big bucks, didn't fulfill their joy. That zapped their joy. They start a little part-time gig, did things on the weekend, and next thing I know, that turns to like a more of a wasn't a burden, but a need to have more jobs with it. And so finally said, I got to quit this other thing to do something that they really enjoy. It brings them joy, and then they now have suitable, income, because you and I both know there's guys who have not done that.
Yeah.
Who's even tried to jump the ship to do stuff that they really are passionate about and can't generate any income.
Right.
And then what happens is, I'm telling you, man, then what happens is it leads to it can lead to depression, anxiety, worry, apathetic, laziness, all this. And if you're in a marriage, that ain't a good recipe, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't a good recipe, man. It's gonna cause problems with your marriage, your children, all this stuff, bro. That's not, and it's gonna zap you from being a man. You're gonna go to be a boy pretty quick.
Right. Well, but it's also hard when you're dealing with that anxiety and worry, and then on top of it, now you're got a wife who's anxious and worried, and it's gonna be a very heavy burden to bear, and that's why take risk, but also be wise.
Yep.
And some of the things I wrote down because of time, we can turn into probably some episodes or discuss in some episodes coming up, because we've talked about some different structure and of course some interviews we want to have. But the other thing I would say, other than be a man of faith and embrace faith, and we talk about that all the time, just from recent experience, and it grinds against me, and especially it's unbecoming of men. And I would say contribute more than you critique and complain about things this year. You want a good year, I would say I have a hard time saying more than, but it's very easy to complain about things and to critique things, especially when you're not the one having to make decisions or whatever. You might be in a company and always complaining about the boss. You and I've seen this. This has never been our heart as student pastors, but we've seen a lot of that among student pastors or even mission pastors or outreach, whatever, to the lead pastor.
Yep.
And it's always disagreeing with how they're making decisions or whatever that might be. And it's you're not in that role.
They're not even in that
room,
in the
driver's seat.
They don't even have a seat at the table.
Right.
They have no idea the weight of a pastor, the weight of the
business owner.
They have no idea that there's a lot that goes on to that.
So it's easy to be critical.
Yep.
Versus contributing and going, hey, I noticed this maybe default or this issue or whatever. Here's a solution that I think would work, or
how can I help?
How can I help?
That's leading
with that?
up. That's leading up. Yep.
And so we can do that in every aspect in our own homes.
Yep. 100%.
We can complain about our wives or our children or whatever, but what's the solution?
Yep.
Don't think in negative complaining terms and always criticizing and critiquing things, but how can I contribute to make this what I think would be ideal or to be good? And so when we talk about having a good 2025, I think that would be a good way to start this year is I'm going to be solutions based. I'm going to contribute versus complain. I think that would be something I'd like to challenge men on.
Contribute, critique. There you go.
Yep.
Dude, that was awesome.
Glad to catch up.
Yeah, man. It was great. Great. Sorry that we bamboozled producer Carell.
Yeah, he's got to get a microphone because when he says things to us, people need to hear that.
You need to hear it.
I mean, we have a microphone. We just need to put it in front of
last time I had a microphone.
That salt and pepper.
He didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
Remember, he knocked it
But
down.
we've got to put it in front of that salt and pepper goatee.
Yep.
Get a camera on him.
Yep. We can.
Even if it's just a microphone, doesn't have to be a camera.
We do that, man. That's all she wrote, bro.
That's it.
It's a wrap. Is what they say.
I mean, we're the hosts. I think it's just up to us to say we're going to put a microphone there.
Yep. Just if you trust us. You trust us?
Yeah. I mean, we're 32 episodes in with 3 bonus episodes, the trailer episode. Well, we're not experts. I mean, we've been doing this for over a year
and a half
plus now.
Like
yeah,
year and 4 months.
So I think we have a good idea of how to run a podcast. We were 45th in the nation in philosophy podcasts.
Yep.
We've been in the top 100 multiple times. I mean, I think we know what makes a good podcast.
Yep. He has a voice. Maybe at least he can chime in when we talk to him.
Right. I think it's just like that. You know, when we ask a question, not necessarily.
The homosexual bit thing was funny.
It was
funny. He was caught off guard too. His face. If you saw his face, he was like, "What are you doing, Shane?"
Yeah. And he still doesn't remember. I mean, the hypnosis still
is in effect. He has no idea what we're talking about right now.
Right.
No idea.
Yeah. Well, we do look forward to having some people on in interviews.
Yep.
It didn't work out for Brian due to the holidays and things, but we will have Brian Edwards on. We'll have some other folks on. We're looking forward to a great 2025. Not only our episodes, but also possibly some additional social media content and things like that. So I think it's going to be a great year. Looking forward to it.
100%, dude.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Yep. Great year. Be 1% better. If you like always, subscribe and share our content and let us know, give us some feedback. If you have any questions, even some topics for that matter, there's some things you'd like for us to discuss and do some research and talk about it. We can give you our opinions and we can see what research says. We'd love to do that, so let us know.
Absolutely. Stay hungry.
Yep. Let's go.
See ya.
Thank you for joining the Male Cartel podcast. Be sure to subscribe and share to help other men join the cartel. You can also keep up with us on social media and at malecartel.com.